Okay, so I am loving the theme of this conference, dreaming big. And as a parent of three lovely children, I want to dream big for my children. It's really important, and I want them to go on to achieve great things with their lives. I want them to aim high. I want them to make a difference on the planet. I want their life to have had a meaning. And as a teacher and a deputy head, that's also true for the children in our school and beyond. We want them to achieve great things and be successful and flourish in everything that they do. But today's made me think, how important really is this dreaming big? And I hope to bring a bit of balance to the debate and maybe get us thinking about something else. I've been teaching nearly now for 10 years, and in that time, I've heard British schools be criticised many, many times for the standards of the children as they leave our schools. And time again, we're compared to other schools in other nations, and we're told to copy their example of how they're teaching, and we're looking at other schools in other places, and we should do what they're doing. And yet actually often research backs up what we're doing in this country as the best practice already. But a new fad comes along and we copy something from another country. Two quick examples, and I am going to be quick about it. I can't tell the full story. But one is Finland. Finland is often held in high regard for the results that the children receive as they leave, and yet they don't often start until the age of 6 or 7. What is it about the schooling that equips them to leave ready for a great future ahead? Now, a couple of quick things I think are factors. One is extended parental leave when the children are first born. And secondly, it's the social norm in Finland that often people don't move far from when they grew up. Family is really important, and they have a strong family base supporting parents in raising children. The other one, China, which again is often held in high esteem and high regard. Actually, in China, often one child, sometimes two, is supported by both parents in a real intense way. Parents are often said to live for their children in China, and actually grandparents see it as a huge role for them as well. So you'll have 4 grandparents and 2 parents invested in their child's education, not just in caring for them, but educating them actively. 6 adults and 1 child. Is that true in our society? I'll leave that for you to judge. But ever increasingly, I'm speaking to parents and family situations where I can say that isn't true. And I know this isn't a popular view. I think actually it's a social taboo to actually say that perhaps parenting in this country isn't what it should be. And I'm going to be the first to say that parenting is really hard. Okay, I am not here as a perfect example of parenting, by no means. It's really difficult. I'll admit now, and my wife was probably watching this, but I'll have times where I'm so frustrated that, you know, that trip to the toilet, it kind of is an extended trip to the toilet just to get 5 minutes peace. I think it's quite known that dads often take quite a long time in the bathroom, and it's not there's a problem, it's just having a bit of peace and quiet. I do that a lot. Parenting is really, really difficult. But actually, it's so important that we're getting things right at home. You know, I find if I went to a coffee shop, I would expect the person behind the counter, the barista, to have had specialist training on how to use a coffee machine. If I go to the bank for some advice, I would expect the person I speak to, the advisor, to have had specialist training on how to do their job and how to help me in this important matter. I know people who are dog groomers, and the training you have to do to be a dog groomer is pretty extreme. And so if you're taking your dog there, you know that they're getting that best care possible in looking after your dog. And yet, what is there for parents? What training do parents actually have? I had 3 sessions before my eldest was born, which was about the birth. Nothing about how to actually parent in a positive way. So of course I want to dream big for my kids, but I can't even get them to go to bed on time. I can't even get them to get dressed in the morning for school. I can't even prize them away from the iPad that they're clinging to. No offense, Grant. It's so difficult, but it's not parents' fault, I don't believe. There's so little on offer to help parents know those things. I feel I've been lucky as a teacher. I've had training in child development, and I've had training in how to encourage children to have good well-being, emotionally and physically. My wife is a nurse. She's had specialist training on the similar things, on how to help nurture children and bring the best out of them. And yet, parenting is still really, really hard. It's difficult. I've got a confession, though. I've been on the same parenting course 5 times. Now, if I said that in most situations, people would think you must be a bad parent. And if I suggest it at school to a parent to go on a parenting course, they're offended. And in society, we have that sense that I'm too good to go on a parenting course. But the best thing for a child, I believe, is actually upskilling ourselves as parents. We blame schools, and more the responsibility is handed to schools to teach kids to do their shoelaces, to tell the time, to eat healthily, to brush their teeth. These are things that parents, perhaps in years gone by, have done themselves. Now, I don't know your situation, but I do know mine. My parents are realists. My parents weren't pushing me from a young age to aim extremely high. They weren't making sure from the age of 4 I knew what I wanted to be, and I aimed for that above anything else. But what they did do, they taught me right and wrong. They taught me that sleep was important, and they taught me to have a good diet. Whether or not I listen is up to me. But they taught me those things. And actually, they gave me a really good grounding to life. And I didn't know what I wanted to do until I was 20. My 3rd year of uni, I finally realized, actually, I'd quite like this teaching thing. My dad was a teacher, so I was put off, and then I decided to do it. But at that stage, it wasn't too late. It didn't matter that I hadn't had that in my head since the age of 4, because actually, I had the foundations I needed to then, at that stage, pursue a career. And they held me in good stead, being able to work as a team and socially to then be able to do that. So, of course, we want to dream big for our children. But the problem is, I don't think as a society we're supporting parents to do their part in raising children and giving them the tools, the foundations they need to actually access those dreams. And I've heard people say that we should focus on one day, but actually we need to focus on today and what we're doing now so that those dreams aren't lost, but they are actually possibilities. Thank you.